what I'm going to try. I'm going to go through your various units you've been at, and if you're amenable to it, and if you don't mind, I'd like to talk a little bit about what comes to mind for your first unit on the Coast Guard cutter Thetis as a seaman.
Well, I arrived in Key West in full dress bravos, and it was about 80 degrees when I walked off the plane. I was so hot, I couldn't believe how hot it was. But I wanted to go somewhere warm because I knew working outside and scraping paint was not a good idea in the cold. So I picked the warmest place I could find, Key West.
After that, you went to the Aviation Technical Training Center in Elizabeth City, North Carolina, where you were advanced to avionics technician 3rd class.
When I got to A school, I didn't really know what I was getting into, but I really enjoyed the school. I learned a lot of how to do electronics. I thought I was doing good until one of the instructors hit me with a softball. I was playing softball one day with our class, and the instructors were playing against the students. That's how they kind of pick on us. They throw softballs, and I was playing first base and got hit by the softball right in the face. So I had a shiner for about 3 weeks.
You recovered from that, and you went on to Coast Guard Air Station Astoria, as now a trained petty officer.
When I got to Astoria, it was a really good experience. One of the things I liked about Astoria was we were the fire department for the airport, and in Astoria back then we still had the separate trucks, and we had the first class was usually running the big truck, and the 3rd class was running the little truck. And we had these fire trucks that would run up and down the runway, make sure there's no deer or elk on the runways. Well, one weekend we decided to play chicken with the fire trucks because they got the big turrets, they can shoot at each other. Well, they blew the windows out of the little truck. So we had to wax the little truck for 6 months. Every weekend we had duty, we had to wax the truck.
Fun memories. After that, you went to Coast Guard Airsta Kodiak as a 2nd class petty officer.
I came up here and I got qualified on the CO-30s, and I think that was the biggest challenge I ever had was flying around the water, all these different remote runways. Some of them were a little more remote than others, but I remember we were landing in Cold Bay, and the fuel truck guy comes out, and they'd say that we got too much fuel, we got to defuel the plane so we can go into to Dutch Harbor to bring some parts to the helicopter. Well, the guy comes out with the heating oil truck, and we hook up the hose to the truck from the plane. Well, the guy's up on top of the truck holding the fuel into the top of the truck, and he's charging us to take fuel off of our plane per gallon.
Wow, that's perfect. After that, you went down to a warmer climate known as Coast Guard Air Station, Sacramento, California.
Well, in Sacramento, I got a lot of flight time. We did a lot of patrols off the West Coast. One of the things that really hit me pretty hard was I was on the first response for the Alaska jet crash off of Long Island. That was real traumatic for me because when that happened, there were so many planes and helicopters and all the different National Guard, Coast Guard response, plus all the local search and rescue and the media helicopters. And every time we would descend to duck underneath the media helicopter, there'd be another one underneath us, so we'd have to climb up. And I almost got hit on the gas was going off like crazy. It was just really traumatic.
Sacramento. After Sacramento, you went out to Coast Guard Air Station Barbers Point as a now 1st class.
I made 1st class in Barbers Point. They treated me really good in Barbers Point. I became an instructor, and I taught a lot of the guys how to be navigators. In Hawaii, it's a little island, but we covered a lot of area down here. And one of the things that we ran into is there's a lot of open ocean, and you got to know where all the islands are. So we made a bunch of special little maps so we can make sure that we didn't run out of fuel playing islands. So it was a really good experience for me.
Awesome. So today you've been to the Thetis, then you went to ATTC, then Astoria, then Kodiak for the first time, Sacramento, Marvelous, and if you wouldn't mind giving us your final thoughts for your last unit, Air Station Kodiak, Alaska.
Well, I always wanted to come back to Kodiak. When I left the first time, I didn't want to leave because I loved the fishing. It was so good. I love it. And being able to share that with my kids, I want to be able to do that again. So actually I chose Kodiak, and I picked CO30s and 60s on all my billets. So I knew at least I'd have a chance, to get back there. And I was a CO30 guy for so many years, and they said, well, you're going 60s. Well, I said, well, what about all the CO30 stuff? Well, they said that I could go 60s, and I came back up here and got qualified, and I was a aircrew for the A60s. I helped take care of the planes while I was here. And I really think that was a good job for me. They didn't think I was a good mechanic, so they put me in supply. And so I was in supply for the last 5 years, and I did a lot of ordering, and they actually gave me a credit card. And I bought a lot of cool stuff with that.
Go with the fishing, right?
And, yeah, well, it's for, I got to buy fishing gear and new boats. Don't worry about that. Chief approved it, so I'm good.
We will now present AET-1 Center and his family with some mementos of his service. Attention to citation. Citation to accompany the award of the Coast Guard Achievement Medal, Gold Star in lieu of a second, to David Center, Avionics Electrical Technician, First Class, United States Coast Guard. Petty Officer Center is cited for superior performance of duty while serving as an MH-60J watch captain and engineering supply supervisor at Air Station Kodiak, Alaska from December 2008 to November 2011. Displaying outstanding leadership as an MH-60J watch captain and deployment supervisor, he expertly managed aircraft maintenance and line crew personnel to achieve a 96% availability rate. Demonstrating superb organizational skills, Petty Officer Center expertly managed the Air Station's $1.2 million engineering budget. As the engineering supply supervisor, Petty Officer Center skillfully prepared more than $500,000 of backorder purchase requests prior to the closeouts of fiscal year 2009, 2010, and 2011. His tireless efforts resulted in Air Station Kodiak receiving additional fallout funds from District 17 totaling more than $600,000, providing the unit with much-needed operational supplies and improvements. Petty Officer Center's keen management of an avionics spare parts inventory valued at $8.5 million was instrumental in achieving outstanding accuracy rates in numerous audits. Masterfully utilizing his vast knowledge of aircraft maintenance and procurement regulations, Petty Officer Center meticulously reviewed and validated over 4,000 supply transactions annually to procure critical operational supplies and parts. Consistently demonstrating superior performance and unwavering leadership, Petty Officer Center instructed other aviation personnel in the use of the Coast Guard's Finance and Procurement Desktop program. His efforts significantly increased the number of supply personnel available to process procurement requests, effectively reducing delays for necessary and often critical supplies. Demonstrating a steadfast commitment to the well-being of his peers, Petty Officer Center volunteered for critical incident stress management training and participated in the Air Station's Human Relations Council meetings. Petty Officer Center's dedication, judgment, and devotion to duty are most heartily commended and are in keeping with the highest traditions of the United States Coast Guard. The operation of the extinguishing device is authorized.